Right. And we are live. Hello, Eva. Hello, everyone. So nice to see you. And we have another Facebook, Instagram live and podcast and everything together. Hi, how are you doing?
Hello, very, very good. I'm happy to be here.
Good, Eva. So before we start, you've been with me for quite a while. Can you give me some wins? What did you get from learning from me? Like what? But what's the result? Not what you learned, but what's the result?
The result in several parts of my life because my first result was that I had pains in my wrist because I was doing a lot of massages and so. And I were by your webinars and my pains were gone. I could
Wow,
work again. I could
wow,
work 6 or 8 hours if I wanted.
wow! And
Yes,
that's just from the knowledge, eh?
yes, just from the knowledge and because it was so good.
Thank you. Wow! That's really amazing. Really nice.
The
Yeah,
second was
yeah.
in my income. My income improved, and the third was in the relationship.
Wow. So in life,
Yes,
all over in life, all life has improved. That's excellent. Really nice. So you wanted to ask me questions today? I'm here. Shoot, ask me.
yes, you are a very successful entrepreneur, and you made your first 100 million with 30, I think, and
Yeah,
you have several companies everywhere on the globe.
yep,
But still, you have a lot of time for everything you want. You and for everything you are really interested for family,
yeah.
for friends, for helping people. How are you doing that? How are you creating time?
Okay, that's a very good question. And to understand time, we need to look and you see sometimes you have days when before you started the day is over, and sometimes you have days that the time is not moving,
Yes,
which mean we can conclude that time is somehow a consideration, time somehow connected to our state of mind. We don't know yet how, but we know that somehow it's connected to a state of mind. Now, if I look what control this time, I will see that time actually get created by a delay. You can say that time is a kind of a stretch. You take a zero thing and you stretch it and you get time. Yes. So you
yes,
can say that time is a result of starting something, doing something, and starting something and doing something. Yes. So it's kind of a stretch. Now, when you are starting something and doing it and not closing it, there's a big stretch and the time goes slow, go fast from your viewpoint because you don't control it. So it's just 1 second that it's continuous, and you have no time. You feel that you have no time. Time become the boss. Okay? When you start change and stop, when you close the cycle quickly, you collapse time. So think that so you have a lot of time because time is your junior and you are the senior. And I'll explain again. Imagine that that there is that in life there is a cycle of action. You born, you grow, and you die. Yes.
yes,
Everything in life you have start, change, and stop. You being something, you doing something, you stopping something. So we can call that thing the cycle of life. This is the cycle of life. This is the cycle of life. Now, when you are born, you're born with a certain number of processes in your head, much like a computer. Okay, so you've got many processes. Every time you start a cycle of action and you didn't close it, one of the processes gets stolen, and you open another process and another cycle of action, another process gets stolen, and you open another cycle of action, another process got stolen, and all of a sudden you have very little processes. Because you have very little processes, everything is going slowly. You have no time. When things go slow, you have no time. If you can just close cycle of action, everything got fast, you have time. On the other hand, you can look at that also in terms of your of stress. When you have many open cycles, if I open a lot of program in a computer, the computer will slow down. And if I'll open more program, the computer will crash. Yes. So when you open cycles, you actually open programs in the computer that is your head, and you become slower and slower, and then you slow down so much that you feel this thing that called stress. Stress is only too many open cycles of life, too many open cycles in life. You're just not completing things. So what's the secret to becoming super powerful? What's the secret to becoming, to having a lot of time? Is actually closing everything very quickly. Now, what do you do? How do you go out of the situation if you have already a lot of open cycles? You simply make a list of all the open cycles that you have, and you handle one, but only one. You handle one, but only one. Why? Because competence is defined as the ability to do what you do when you're doing it. The ability to do what you do when you're doing it. Why? Because when you do what you do when you're doing it, you're closing cycles of action quickly. How do you stretch a cycle of action? You stretch a cycle of action by starting to go from point A to point B, and all of a sudden going to point C, then to point D, then to point E, F, G, never arriving at B. You open a browser, you want to go and check your bank balance, but you see an ad, so you click on the ad. And you say, oh, that's nothing. You close the ad and you see a piece of news, so you read the news. And all of a sudden you decide, so, okay, I've got, my browser is open, why don't I check Facebook? Etc. Yes. So you start in one point and you go all over. The cycle is open. There is a stretch of time. You become slow. No time, meaning I am slow. When someone have no time, the actual definition of I have no time is I am slow. When someone tell you I have no time, what he says, time is my God, I am his junior. Or what he says, I am too slow, or what he says, I don't know how to close cycles of actions, or anything like that. Basically, I'm not close. Does it help?
Yes. So being careful and wanting to be too precise is not too good.
Yeah. There's there's something that I call fake reality. Fake reality is a piece of information that you're 100% sure is right, but when you use it, it doesn't bring you the expected result. And in the case of being precise or not, there is a law that quantity comes before, or it's more important than quality.
Yeah.
So you first do a lot. By doing it, you actually get the idea of how to close cycles of actions. By closing cycles of actions, you become so good that the quality is the result of quantity and not the result of an effort. And you will see that the more effort you will put into something, the less quality it will have. So quality is the result of a lot of quantity, which result in closed cycle of action, in the ability or in the improvement in the ability to close cycles of actions, and eventually result in quality.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes, it's totally.
Yes, yes. It's very, very powerful to think about it.
We are operating sometimes contrary to this.
Yeah, yeah. Generally, life will 99% of the time, what is instinctive is not true. I know it sounds weird. I know. But what instinctive is not true, because this universe is a universe of lies. Everything that looks one way, it's probably the other way. You want someone to love you, get away from them and you will see they will love you. You want something when you don't have it. When you have it, you don't want it. Plus and minus attract each other. Plus and plus detract each other. This universe is a universe of opposites. And if you understand that, you can be almost, I can give you the easiest formula for success, which is very easy to do, but no one will want to do it, is the following. Since 99% of the people fail 99% of the time, it means that 99% of the people, 99% of the time, doing the wrong actions.
Mm-hmm.
So if you will be brave enough to do the opposite of what everyone is thinking, you'll be so right, so correct, so on target that you'll be the most successful person in the universe. And you will see that every person that actually really succeeded in the past is not because he's done what everyone is doing, is because he came up with a new idea. He said, why don't we fly? He says, well, why don't we do a touch screen as a keyboard? He says, why don't we have electric car? He says something that is opposite to the overall.
Yes, amazing.
Yeah, very amazing, unbelievable.
Yeah.
More questions?
Yes. Nowadays, a lot of people are losing their jobs, or they are forced. Sometimes people are forced to retire too early, and
Yeah.
this happens. I noticed that people are burned out, and not
Yeah.
just this person, but also the entire family suffers. How can we help?
Okay, so the actual answers, if you want the full answer, I would suggest that you will go to my website, www.meirezra.com, and do the 100x recordings. Listen to the 100x recordings. It will help you exactly what you need to do. But what I'm going to give you right now is an answer that you would not like.
Yeah.
But is the right answer, and it's the true answer. Okay? And how do I know it's the true answer? Because it will solve the problem. So here's the answer that you would not like. For a person to be retrenched, for a person to lose his job, for a person to not be able to recover from a bad situation, there is a prerequisite. There is something that happened before, and I will explain it within a second. At the time of a crisis, everything about us become bigger. So when there's a crisis, when a person is afraid, he's really afraid. When a person is able, he become really able. When anything that you have become more. When a person is slow, he becomes really slow. He has no job, but he's doing nothing. Yes. So a time of crisis magnifies your actual true hidden condition, the condition, that the viewpoint that you don't want anyone to see, not this show that you put out, not the mask, but who you really are. Now, it can be used in two ways. One, it can be used by saying, well, I'm like that and there's nothing to do and I will just go to my corner and die and I hope no one will notice. Or you can say, whoa, now that I know I can do something about it, go and get the 100x recording. Now, why do you get retrenched? Why you don't, why you don't have income? Why the disaster hits you? Is because if the disaster hits you, regardless of who you are, regardless of if you are in the party industry or in any industry, is because for a long time you have not been really productive. You did not produce results for a long time. You had many open cycles in your life. So your game was very small. You had one game, one job, and you are not as important because someone can retrench you. What does it mean not as important? You did not produce as much. Because I don't know about one person on this earth that cannot produce 100 times more than what he used to produce. And the actual handling is to realize what do you need to do now to use, and that's the bad news. Yes, that's a very bad news, because if you have not been produced for a long time and you've been retrenched and you don't have a job or your business cannot operate, that's a really bad news. But the good news is that regardless of how long you did not produce, regardless for how long you left open cycles, regardless of how big is your loss, one thing is the saving grace. One thing is the thing that always will save you if you remember that. And it is that your power are unlimited and you never lose them. You lose only your willingness, the willingness to demonstrate them. Now, this is so unbelievable. And I can prove to you that it's true that you lost your willingness. How do you know how big is your willingness? By the size of the barrier. When the willingness is very high, the barrier is very small. When the willingness is very small, the barrier is very big. So if I have this girl and I really want her, I'm really willing. So I have time and I don't have meetings and I don't have calls and I don't have nothing. I want to meet her. And I will make it go right, yes? The willingness is big, the barriers are small. But then I got married to her and the willingness become smaller and the barriers become bigger. So when she calls me, I don't answer. Or when she wants to go out, I say no. Where before, if she will say that I want to go out, I'll give a hand and a leg.
Yeah.
I do anything, yes? Why? Because when the willingness is high, the barriers are small. And the only way to figure out how willing you are, only way to figure out how willing you are is to look at the barrier. You can never judge how willing you are by looking at yourself. The only way to figure out how willing you are is to look at the size of your barriers. When the barriers are insurmountable, when they are too big, when you actually have a problem, you are unwilling, and you do that covertly. You justify, you explain why it's not your problem, you explain why you're trying, you even sweat, you do all kind of things just not to admit that you are unwilling. Now, how do you become willing? You join a webinar. You go to, I'm doing a webinar on Sunday that it's basically it's about the Yoga Sutras, yes? And the Yoga Sutras is basically the yoga axiom or the yoga laws or the yoga agreements, yes? And it is the knowledge that got in thousands of years ago, people to become so powerful that they can overcome any problem. And they could work very hard and actually be enthusiastic about it. You will see that this knowledge is so powerful that it will actually recover the willingness to demonstrate your ability.
Wow.
So all you have to do, it's all you have to do is go to www.meirezra.com/yoga. It's on the screen if you see it on Facebook, and if not, I'll give it to you again. www.meirezra, it's meirezra.com/yoga, just yoga. So meirezra.com/yoga. Be there on Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. South Africa time. I think it's 10 p.m. in Israel time. And it will change your life. It will change your life. And if you cannot be there, private message me on Instagram. You can follow me at Meir Ezra Official on Instagram. Private message me and I will send you a recording. Okay?
Yes.
Good.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eva. Any other questions?
Yes, basically several clients from me are interested in yoga and meditation because I think man was always searching for this kind of peace of mind and freedom.
Yeah.
And they want to achieve this kind of peace of mind and to get rid of stress, any kind of stress.
Yeah.
And
so
this is what I wanted to have. What can you tell me about it? What will you deliver? What is this mystery about it?
Yeah. Okay. The problem with yoga, and why many people doing yoga, but not many people get the result that expected from yoga, is quite fascinating. You see, the spirit, the definition of the word spirit is this thing that knows. So instinctively, you know that there's something with yoga, but you see that many people that use yoga, while they can have an excellent asanas or body forms or all kind of processes with the body, spiritually and factually, they don't really improve their life. They improve the viewpoint on life, but not the result on life. So for as long as your result has not been improved, you did not really improve. It's not that you didn't improve at all, but you didn't go behind a threshold that you actually playing the game of the physical universe. The physical universe still plays you. So if you are an artist and you are a starving artist, you can be good artist or with a lot of potential, but the physical universe still playing you. You need to produce more. And how do you know that you produce more? You play the physical universe and not the physical universe plays you. And the result shows that. You are not starving. You cannot be a starving artist and a successful artist. It doesn't work together. It's false. It's fake reality. In the same way, you cannot be yogi and starving, or yogi and very sick, or yogi with a bad relationship. Because if you do, you are not. Think about being a very PR-wise successful yogi, but your marriage is broken. You are being evicted from your homes. You don't have money. You cannot pay your payments. You're not yogi. You are total effect. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the problem is that while yoga, the idea is very good, the practice, the actual implementation is very bad. Why? Because those yoga sutras, those yoga's axiom has been subverted, has been changed over the last 2,500 years. They've been changed to prevent people from actually achieving or attaining the state that yoga supposed to bring you to. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to tell you that I found the actual sutras, etc., because what I say, it's irrelevant. What I will do in this series of webinars, it's going to be quite a big cycle. It's about 300 hours altogether. Yeah, and in these 300 hours, I will get you to rewrite the Yoga Sutras. It's not that I will show you how to discover it. Each and every person in this course will discover for himself what are the sutras, not because I will tell him what they are, but because he will discover. So basically, I'm going to allow you, I'm going to recover your ability to know, so you will discover the sutras. I will not actually give you the sutras. It's a big difference. Why? Because when I teach you, when I give you, when you have to get from me something, you are an effect, you're not cause. But if I show you how to look, and you will come to your own conclusion what they are, and if those conclusions will bring results in your life, you know it is correct.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is what we are going towards. It's a big cycle. It's a big undertaking, but every lesson will bring a major change. I can tell you that I have no doubt that there's not one person on earth today that actually know the Yoga Sutras, and I've checked with many people that are in the field, and I asked them, okay, so explain to me, what does it mean, this one line? Explain to me, what does it mean? How can it be? And they cannot. They have all kind of words that coming from their mouth that when I ask them, they themselves realize that they don't know. The first thing to realize, the first thing that you need in order to fix, if you're blind, in order to fix blindness, the first thing that you need to know is to know that you're blind.
Yeah.
Because if you are blind and you think that you see, you will never fix your blindness. You understand?
Yeah.
So what is blind and think that he sees is someone that knows I'm yogi and I'm supposed to bring results. And instead of saying, whoa, I don't have results, so obviously I don't know something, he blames everyone and his sister for his no results. His students are not good, and the government is terrible, and it's COVID-19, and tomorrow it will be COVID-20, and whatever. Yes, nonsense. Make sense?
Yes, I can't read it. I know you are a magician, and I'm doing also the homeworks you are giving us after a webinar, and my life is changing, and I can see things with other glasses, you know. So life is an adventure and a miracle,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Thank you. Let me give you one last thing to do before we going home, but this is only if you are brave. Only if you are brave, because it's not going to be easy.
Okay.
What I want you to do is to pick up an area in your life that you are not doing as well. Okay? And write it. Just say, oh, I'm not doing as well, let's say, in I don't have enough money. Okay? Good. Then you need to write down everything you know about the subject. So everything you know about money. Money is hard to get, only Jewish people have money, these kind of things. Anything you know about money. You write all the things you know about money. And you make a big list of everything you know about money. And then you go to the beginning, to the first one, and next to each one you say 100% true, or it's a maybe, or it's not true. So go through each one. True, maybe, I'm not sure, or no, for sure it's not true. True, maybe not. True, maybe not. True, maybe not. You finish it, you go to the beginning, you look again and you say, true, maybe not. Again, and again, and again, and again, and again, until you will have, whoa, you will figure out it's some fake reality, some piece of information that is 100% sure, you're sure 100% that it's true. You will discover for yourself that it was false. And because you were relying on that fake reality, you blocked your own way to solving that specific problem. In the example I gave is money.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
I can relate.
Try it, and you can write to me over Instagram. Write me a private message if you have any questions. Write to me, ask me. And Eva, thank you very much for this interview, and thank you for Amit and Swapna for helping and setting up, and of course Shamaya in the background that manages everything. And big thank you for Gali that helps me with almost every corner of everything that I do. So, and thank the people that watching, because we're doing it for you. I'm doing it for you. And or what I want is to help you. And what you need to do in return is to help me, to help more people. So spread, share, tell people about what I'm doing, get people to follow me. That's your exchange with me for that free service. Thank you very much. Thank you, Eva. And I will be on another Facebook Live. I have one more within 5-10 minutes. By the way, almost every day, I think every day other than the weekend, or every day at 10 p.m. Cape Town time, and I think 10 p.m. is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm doing a Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and YouTube Live. So you can join me every day. It's a different subject. And if you have specific questions that you want me to answer, private message me on Instagram, and I will answer. Now, I'm not really looking at answering all the comments. I see them and I see the people, but I don't answer all the comments, because I think that it's better that you'll get the whole communication rather than I'm talking, looking. So thank you for all the comments. Thank you for being there and commenting. I see them. I don't comment back, so you will get the full concept. So I'm not cutting the communication with you. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.